What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this right here. So if you know normal terminal, I don't have a normal terminal, but if you did have a normal terminal, let's just say I did command prompt, you end up with, okay, well, normally if you clicked just the normal PowerShell, normal terminal, you end up with this kind of black, usually black on white, black background, not transparent at all. You don't get any cool effects or anything. You can't really customize it. So in this video, I wanted to show you guys how I customized my terminal. So recently, Microsoft Windows had an update that allows you to, it's always been there kind of, but they recently made this whole thing right here. So if you right click on the top here, don't right click down here, it won't do anything, but if you right click up here and click settings, it'll pull up this window right here, and this is the window that I'm going to be using. There's another way to do this. If you click on open JSON file, you get this right here, which is just the JSON format of what's already being shown in the GUI of the settings. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to do it using the GUI, which I find much easier, then I would recommend to just stick with me and figure all this out. So there's all these default startup settings, which aren't, really important because it doesn't really give you customization. But if you want your default profile to be, Windows PowerShell or Command Prompt or Azure Cloud Shell, then you can change it right here. So what we want to get into is essentially all of the things below it. So right here is interaction, and this gives, lots of different things. You can see it automatically focus pane on mouse hover. This is more like reactionary thing. So if I went into this file right here, so right now I'm clicked onto this file, but if I click off of it, it goes dark. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to show you in this video. And I'm also going to show you how to get the JPEG, the wallpaper for the background, change the opacity, make it translucent, make the top translucent, all that kind of stuff. So what we want to go into is the appearance here. So you could change the language, the theme. There's lots of different themes. I have mine on dark. You could always change it to use Windows theme, so it'll just use the one you already use. And then you can change the position of the tabs. Acrylic material in the tab row. So when I click over here, you can see it's kind of, if you move it around, it's kind of translucent. So that's what the acrylic material is. I would recommend having that enabled. It just makes things look a lot better. If you have the opacity changed in your actual terminal settings, then that would be a good thing to have changed. But I'm not going to go into all these settings, I just want to show you where they are. This is a really important one. So if you look through here, I have a bunch of different, you'll start out with a bunch of different color schemes, and you can change the color schemes. If you look over here, see how there's just lots of different color schemes. Most of these are already in here. The ones I added was Vaporwave and Hacker. So if you want to add one, you just click the add new button, and then it gives you a bunch of different options here. So if you look, you can see you can change the black color, the red color, green, yellow, blue, all that. You could change the foreground color. So what is being typed, I believe, is the foreground. I don't actually know. I can't remember. You can change the background color. The cursor color is this thing. And you could change the selection background, so you could change it from white, which is what it's on now, to green, whatever you want. And then if you want to make it so that it always turns on, you just set it as default. And then if you want to change the color scheme, you just go down here, change all of that, and it'll register it. So I'm going to delete this because I don't want another color scheme. So now into rendering. So here you can see there's a couple different things. There's a text renderer. I don't have this on because I don't want to use Atlas Engine, but if you wanted to, you could always turn it on. Software rendering, redrawing the screen, do a appearance. So this is where all the magic happens. So if you look here, this is just the default appearance, but it gives you a lot more things you can tune around with. So right here, you've got the different color schemes you can set as the defaults. You can change the font face, so that's how I got this font right here. You could change it to any of these. You could even import your own if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it because it kind of messes with things. It makes it a little bit, like for example, let's say I wanted to show all fonts here. So now you can see there's a huge selection, but the problem is when you change it to, like, say this one, see, look at all that. It kind of changes with the spacing, and it even gives you a warning using a non-monospaced font will result in visual artifacts, and it does result in visual artifacts, so I'm going to go back. Change it back to what I had it on because it looks better. I'm going to turn that off. You could change the font size if you wanted to. You could change the font weight, so that changes, you know, something. I don't know what it's changing, but it's changing something. This is just a bunch of different things. So if you want to turn on retro terminal, see, that's what it normally looks like. In case you couldn't tell, you can turn on the scan lines if you want to. Makes the text glow a little bit, and then adjust lightness of indistinguishable text. I don't ever mess with that, but if you wanted to, you could. You can change your cursor shape to be a box or whatever you want. This one is really important, the background image path. So if you want to change your wallpaper, all you have to do is just install whatever wallpaper you want, and then you'll click browse, and then you'll just go through all the different pictures you have, and then you just click whichever one you wanted, and it would just automatically generate the image path. And then after that, whenever you show it, it'll work. Background image stretch mode, I have uniform to fill, but if you wanted to, you could change it so that the image fits to resize and fill the window. I don't ever mess with that, so I'm not going to go into it. Image alignment, so it shows how the image would be aligned. If you change these, I think it would change the position of the image, so maybe it would be up here or somewhere over there. Intense text style. Let's try a bold font. Makes it a little bit more bold. That's just kind of a basic thing. The background opacity is very important. If you want to change the opacity of your window, let's say I wanted it at 50. So it would do that. It changes the opacity of the background image. I like mine at 20 because I like to see the actual background like this. So see how I have two different wallpapers and they kind of like intermingle. It looks nice. Enable acrylic material. That one you don't need to mess with. It makes a translucent texture, kind of like this top part right here. The padding just changes the padding of the text so that it wouldn't go all the way to the end and trail over. You can put on a little bit. I think it looks good. So yeah, that's it. That's all the different customization. You could either do it the way you use like the defaults and then go in here in the GUI, and then remember the JSON file works too. So that's all. If you want to watch more or recommend something, let me know in the comments. And make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more tutorials on Terminal or whatever you like. So that's it. Bye.